Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Andrew Huberman and the controversial article about him that was published in New York Magazine? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to a summary of the article, then offer my analysis. Andrew Huberman was born on September 26, 1975, in Palo Alto, California. His father was a physicist, and his mother was a children's book author. When Andrew was 12 years old, his parents divorced. In 1998, Andrew earned a bachelor's degree in psychology. 2 years later, he earned a master's degree in the same field. He then went on to study neuroscience, receiving a PhD in 2004. In 2011, Andrew worked as an assistant professor of neurobiology and neuroscience at the University of California, San Diego. In 2016, he started working at Stanford University. He is a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology. Starting in 2019, Andrew appeared on several popular podcasts, including one hosted by Joe Rogan. He created his own podcast in 2021 called Huberman Lab, which went on to achieve phenomenal success. Andrew also operates a YouTube channel that is extremely popular. At the time I'm making this video, his channel has over 5.2 million subscribers. It has been viewed over 270 million times and regularly averages over 10 million views a month. The channel features videos where Andrew is speaking directly to the audience or interviewing a guest. Most of the videos are health-related in some way. For example, Andrew has videos on how to improve physical endurance, stop headaches, build muscle size, sleep better, enhance working memory, prevent the flu, and reduce anxiety. Things appear to be going pretty well for Andrew, but he did run into a bit of a speed bump on March 25, 2024, when New York Magazine published an article about him. The article reveals a few different claims about Andrew's behavior, mostly focusing on relationships that he has had with various romantic interests. Here is a summary of the article. Pseudonyms are used for the women in the article. I will use the same pseudonyms to be consistent. According to a woman referred to as Sarah in the article, Andrew started a romantic relationship with her in February 2018. Sarah agreed to have unprotected sex after they became exclusive a few months later. In November of 2018, Sarah invited Andrew to meet her parents and close friends at Thanksgiving dinner. He said that he was running late and ultimately never showed up. This mysterious disappearance behavior became a pattern in the relationship. In 2020, Andrew criticized decisions that Sarah had made, like what men she had been romantically involved with in the past. Sarah implied that Andrew had anger management problems, claiming that he yelled at her for 2 to 3 days in a row. In 2021, Sarah read Andrew's journal and discovered that he was not exclusively seeing her. Andrew had multiple romantic partners despite his commitment to Sarah. Periodically, when Sarah would bring up concerns about another woman, Andrew would use unkind language about the alleged romantic competitor, like calling her a compulsive liar, an alcoholic, or a stalker. Andrew was caught having another affair with a woman referred to as Eve. Just like Sarah, Eve agreed to have unprotected sex with Andrew. In August 2023, Sarah moved out of Andrew's residence, but still maintained a romantic relationship with him. This ended in December of that year when Sarah discovered Andrew on a couch with a woman. In January 2024, Sarah discovered another woman who Andrew was having sex with, who was referred to as Alex. She lived in New York. Sarah then discovered a lover referred to as Mary, who lived in Texas. Mary had been seeing Andrew for years. Eventually, Sarah stumbled upon a fifth woman who was from Los Angeles, California. The 5 women communicated regularly. They found each other to be educated, intelligent, and insightful. They did not believe their behavior was consistent with Andrew's pejorative descriptions. For example, no one was a stalker. After comparing notes, they realized that Andrew had an incredible talent for flying all over the country and having sex with them. His scheduling abilities were superior. For the most part, Each woman believed that Andrew was sincere and wanted a long-term commitment with her. A few of the women said that Andrew talked about his ideal relationship, which involved him having sex with other people, but them only having sex with him. In a surprising twist, at least 3 of the women continued to remain friendly with Andrew even after learning about his deceptive behavior. The article also mentioned a few other aspects of Andrew's behavior, which could be concerning. For example, he was not reliable in keeping commitments, even those not of a romantic nature. He admitted that he regularly lied to his therapist, and his lab at Stanford may not be doing much of anything. A spokesperson for Andrew denied many of the claims made by the people interviewed for the article. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. There is no question that Andrew is intelligent and has training which qualifies him to talk about mental health, physical health, and general self-improvement topics. His early content featured educational videos that were tied pretty closely to his background, but over time he expanded his range of topics to include philosophy, relationships, and obtaining optimal physical performance. This is not unusual, as Andrew is constantly learning. Along with peace, contentment, and delight, he promotes this continuous learning aspect as part of his brand. Item number 2. Before looking at some of the criticisms about Andrew, I want to mention a few of the positive elements. He has consistently maintained that alcohol consumption is dangerous at any level. He emphasizes the ability for people to change, and he is a massive fan of mental health therapy. Most of the statements that Andrew makes are not pseudoscientific, although some are, which brings me to item number 3. Let's take a look at some of the criticisms that people have offered about Andrew's videos. Andrew does not appear to be very skeptical about some research findings, which is surprising for a scientist. He tends to lend more credibility to certain studies than they deserve based on the design. Not surprisingly, these studies tend to be those that fit with his philosophy of health improvement. Andrew tends to apply the results of studies that involved animals to human beings. On one occasion, he talked about a study on processed food featuring rats, as if the participants were humans. Andrew promotes unsupported claims in some of his videos, which has led to accusations that he has invested in pseudoscience. Speaking of investment, Andrew has featured sponsors who sell dietary supplements. One product that Andrew promotes is a supplement that purportedly covers all a person's foundational nutritional needs. Another supplement he promotes is made from an evergreen shrub. He claimed that it had a profound effect on anxiety, could reduce symptoms of depression, and may improve memory and sleep. There are no scientific reasons to believe these claims. Andrew doesn't seem to be a fan of flu vaccinations. He claimed that the flu shot is, quote, completely ineffective at combating other forms of the flu virus, colds, or any other types of upper respiratory infections, unquote. According to the CDC, quote, antibodies made in response to the vaccine can provide some protection against different but related strains of influenza virus, unquote. In addition to not liking flu vaccines, Andrew does not appear to be a fan of sunscreen, believing it is potentially hazardous. Item number 4. Andrew's style of presenting has been described as confident and long-winded. He uses a lot of mental and physical health jargon, but surrounds these terms with so many filler words, it's like he's talking in circles. Many scientists value the idea of using only as many words as necessary to accurately convey information. This isn't always the best for teaching, but Andrew goes completely in the opposite direction. He does not appear to believe in this economy of expression. Rather, there's a sense that he is actually using as many words as possible to convey information. Self-help gurus are notorious for using this communication style. There's a lot of talking, but not a lot of actual information being transmitted. Item number 5. Andrew tends to present findings from research studies as if the results point to a concrete relationship between variables. There's a lot of definitive advice being offered, even when disagreement still exists among researchers. The results of scientific experiments can sometimes be boring. Most people don't think of scholarly articles as a great source of entertainment. There are presentation methods that make science more interesting, but no matter what method is selected, it's critical to retain the integrity of the results. Unfortunately, Andrew has adopted a different tactic. He removes ambiguity, therefore makes the results more exciting and applicable at the expense of accuracy. People don't tend to get as excited about research findings when words like probable, tentative, and uncertain are used to describe the association between variables. Definitive answers are strongly favored. Unfortunately, science cannot always offer these types of answers. Applying science in the realm of mental health is often about appreciating probabilities and not about assuming the existence of immutable and direct relationships. More learning is not created by misrepresenting the results of studies. This only creates misinformation and increases interest in something that is not true. Instead, concepts should be taught with insight, clarity, and by offering practical examples of real-world applications. This way, what was boring now becomes interesting. Andrew is taking a hazardous shortcut by spicing up or oversimplifying research findings. Item number 6. What do the alleged romantic dealings of Andrew say about his personality and motives if the claims of the women are true? Here are my thoughts on this. Andrew has a healthy lifestyle brand, which focuses on muscle building, high energy, sharp thinking, and getting in touch with emotions. Some have argued that he's really selling his own brand of masculinity, not unlike Joe Rogan. This makes me wonder, what's the point in having all these abilities and characteristics that Andrew promotes? Why would anybody work so diligently and follow all his instructions to gain these capabilities? One answer could be to achieve romantic success with multiple women. This success features the emotional factors associated with committed relationships while being uncommitted in reality. Andrew has used many of the elements that he promotes in his pursuit of women. He's muscular and physically fit. He has enough energy to fly across the country and have sex with multiple partners. He has sufficient cognitive reasoning ability to keep all his encounters straight. And he has enough emotional sensitivity and listening skill to convince women that he's committed solely to them. Maybe the whole point of Andrew's brand is to teach men to get away with exactly what he allegedly did. From his perspective, Andrew is living the dream. I don't believe that there will be any meaningful fallout from the article in New York Magazine, because to many of Andrew's followers, the revelation that he had these manipulation-enhanced romantic relationships makes him a hero. It's proof of concept and only bolsters the credibility of what Andrew has been teaching this whole time. He is teaching people to be like him. Now moving to my final thoughts. My biggest concern with Andrew is how he promotes pseudoscientific nonsense. Social media influencers who have doctorates in any type of field related to mental or physical health get bombarded by offers to promote products and services that are not supported by science. Companies that sell scientifically unsupported supplements are among the worst offenders. It's a massive business that pays a lot of money to influencers, but those riches destroy one important factor which may be impossible to rebuild: their credibility. Those are my thoughts on the case of Andrew Huberman. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.